The mystery of the human feet in the Salish Sea. In 2007, a man walking along a quiet beach made a discovery that would shock investigators across North America. Inside a running shoe lying on the sand was a human foot. Not a skeleton, not scattered bones, just a single severed foot still inside the shoe. At first, police thought it might be a terrible accident, but then another foot appeared, and another, and another. Over the next few years, more than a dozen human feet would wash ashore along the waters of the Salish Sea between British Columbia in Canada and Washington in the United States. But what made this case truly disturbing was how similar every discovery was, and the pattern raised a terrifying question. Why were only feet appearing? To understand this mystery, we have to start with the first discovery. 1. The first foot. On August 20th, 2007, a man walking on a beach on Jedediah Island found a sneaker lying near the shoreline. At first glance, it looked like ordinary trash. But when he picked it up, he realized something horrifying. Inside the shoe was a human foot. Authorities quickly arrived and launched an investigation. The foot was wearing a size 12 athletic shoe, and it appeared to have separated naturally from the body. There were no knife marks, no signs of violence. At first, investigators believed it could be linked to a missing person, but before they could find answers, another foot appeared just days later, and this second discovery made the mystery far stranger. 2. The second discovery. Just 6 days after the first discovery, another shoe washed ashore, this time on Gabriola Island. Inside it was another human foot. Now investigators were alarmed. 2 separate feet appearing in the same region within days? It couldn't be a coincidence. Forensic experts examined the remains carefully. The feet appeared to have detached naturally during decomposition, but investigators still couldn't answer the most important question: where were the rest of the bodies? And as the months passed, more feet kept appearing. 3. The pattern. Over the next several years, more shoes containing human feet began washing ashore across the region. Beaches near Vancouver Island, shorelines around Seattle, remote islands scattered throughout the Salish Sea. The pattern was disturbing. Nearly every discovery involved a foot still inside a modern athletic shoe. Sometimes it was a left foot, sometimes a right, but rarely both. By the time investigators counted the cases, more than a dozen human feet had been found. Naturally, rumors began spreading. Some people believed a serial killer was responsible. Others suggested organized crime, but the forensic evidence told a different story, and what scientists discovered only deepened the mystery. 4. The science forensic scientists eventually explained something surprising. When a human body decomposes in water, the ankle joint is one of the first places where separation can occur. Modern running shoes also contain foam materials that float. This means that if a body sinks underwater, the foot inside the shoe can eventually detach, float to the surface, and drift with ocean currents. At first, this explanation seemed logical, but it didn't explain everything. Because ocean currents in the Salish Sea are incredibly complex. Some currents flow north, others flow south. Some swirl unpredictably between islands. So how were these feet ending up in very specific locations? And even more disturbing, why were so many of them appearing during the same period? 5. The identifications over time. DNA testing began identifying some of the remains. Several of the feet belonged to people who had been reported missing years earlier. In some cases, investigators concluded the individuals had likely died by suicide or accidental drowning. But not every case was solved. Some feet were never matched to a person, and some discoveries raised new questions. For example, in one case, investigators discovered 2 feet belonging to the same person, found months apart on different beaches, which meant those remains had traveled miles through ocean currents. But if the scientific explanation was correct, then something even stranger should have happened, and yet it didn't. 6. The missing bodies. Despite all the feet discovered over the years, almost no full bodies were ever found. This puzzled investigators. Normally, when people drown at sea, bodies eventually surface. But in this region, only the feet seem to appear. Nothing else. No skulls, no rib bones, just shoes with feet. Some oceanographers suggested that deep underwater currents and marine life may break down bodies before they resurface. But even today, experts still debate whether this explanation fully accounts for the phenomenon, and that leaves one chilling possibility, that some of these cases may not be natural at all. 7. The mystery continues. Since the first discovery in 2007, additional feet have continued to appear in the region. Each time investigators examine the remains. Each time, they try to determine where the person came from. Sometimes they find answers, but many times, they don't. Today, the strange discoveries along the Salish Sea remain one of the most bizarre mysteries in modern forensic history. Because even though scientists have theories, no single explanation answers every question. And that leaves one haunting thought. Somewhere beneath those dark waters, there may still be secrets waiting to surface. So here's the question. If dozens of feet washed ashore, but almost no bodies were ever found, what really happened in the waters of the Salish Sea? Was it simply a strange result of ocean currents and decomposition? Or could something far more disturbing be hiding beneath the waves? Comment your theory below. Like and subscribe for more dark mysteries and unsolved cases from around the world. Because sometimes, the ocean doesn't give up its secrets easily.